always looking for indicators about the economy. Have things bottomed out? Are things getting better? Are things getting worse? From your viewpoint, from the airport authority, what do you see in your crystal ball, the way things are going?
You know, I think that towards the end of the year, we'll see a turnaround. I think that, fortunately, Mobile, as far as the airport is concerned, has been somewhat fortunate compared to a lot of other airports, particularly airports our size. The number of enplanements are down about 6%. But that compares with about 25% in a lot of markets. So we have been somewhat insulated from some of that.
Is there a difference between the number of people, the enplanements, people leaving Mobile, and the people coming into Mobile? Do you view those in two different ways?
We actually look at both, and we combine them into a formula that tells us how we're doing. So we look at both enplanements and deplanements.
So if you had to sum it up in a few words, are you cautiously optimistic about the way things are going, or
I certainly am, and I think that as far as the economy is concerned, Mobile Bay as a region, I think we're primed to come out of the chute, quickly because of all the economic development that has occurred in the region over the last few years.
I know you must get tired of being asked this question, but I have to ask it because I know it impacted me just a few days ago. I was trying to get a flight out of Mobile.
Yes.
And it was $400 cheaper out of New Orleans than it was out of Mobile. What can you do to fix that?
You know, it's one of the most frustrating things. I've been at the airport for 6 months now and learning more and more about how ticketing works and how the fares are set. And it is very difficult because it's complicated. It has a lot to do with how full your plane is compared to a plane that might be at a competitor airport nearby. The more tickets or the more seats they have available, the lower the price. So in some ways, you're penalized for doing well. And we have a lot of business travelers in and out of our airport, and those tickets get snatched up very quickly, which means the leisure fares, are few and far between. Those are available oftentimes in nearby airports. So that's a challenge. But the thing that we have to do is continue to talk with the airlines to help them to understand that we are a strong economy, we're a growing community, we can support more service, which means more planes, more seats, lower fares.
Right. Is there any sort of incentive program that you can work on to get Mobile area people to fly out of Mobile?
You know, right now we're currently doing a very thorough research analysis of our customer, both at the regional airport as well as the Brooklyn complex, to understand more about what their needs are, what the priorities are. And intuitively we think a lot of things, but sometimes research shows us that it's different than we thought. We will take that information and then work to improve the service. And one of the things that we will be asking the community to do, we've been very successful as a community working together to do economic development and to advance this economy. I think we can work together to better our air service. And the thing that we'll be asking people to do is, for a period of time, pick an amount, and if the differential between our airports is not more than that amount, choose to fly out of Mobile. Have that hometown spirit. Fly out of Mobile, and if we can do that for even a short amount of time, we can take that information, show that we have a much larger market than they think we have. We're losing a lot of flyers to other airports, so if we can show that, then that will enable us to get more service.
Is there any kind of carrot that you can put out there to sort of boost those numbers, either free parking or something like that?
I think that we're doing a lot of those things. Again, we will look at that research and we will determine what it is that we need to do to make our airport the airport of choice. Our parking is very reasonable. We have LA parking. We have a lot of services that other airports don't provide. We want the experience to be as positive as possible, and we'll continue that, but continue to explore other ways that we can entice the heavy user, if you will, to use our airport.
Now, you talked about the economic development that has helped the enplanements, the departures out of Mobile. We have companies like ThyssenKrupp, we have Austal, we have a lot of international companies in the area.
Correct.
Has there been any talk about making Mobile an international airport, either Berkeley or out west?
That's always a possibility. I think we have a long way to go. We have to get our national service, at a higher level before we reach the international status. But I think it's certainly something that we can work towards as a goal. I think more importantly, we need to communicate to the airlines what the needs are of those international business travelers, what sort of connections they need. We have a higher than average international business traveler out of our airport, the statistics show. So we're a good market for international travel and international flights. So I think that in the future, yes, right now, make those connections better.
Would it be more complicated to have international flights, for example, flying to Brooklyn because it has the Air Force runway and that kind of thing, or you have to think about TSA and customs and all of that, I suppose?
Right. TSA would have to be at both locations, and so that would be a challenge. I mean, it would be something that we could certainly look at, and if we had the opportunity for international service, we would explore that fully.
Right. I've always heard people talk about, I wish we had Southwest flying out of Mobile. I suppose you've heard that as well.
Well, yes, I do hear that. I hear that a lot, and it would be nice. I think Southwest Airlines, I'm sure that if we were able to secure Southwest Airlines, I could probably retire, and a lot of other folks. Right now, we are simply not large enough to support Southwest Airlines service. They typically like to go into a market where they can enjoy at least 800,000 passengers annually, they themselves. We currently have around 600,000 total.
For all the airlines?
For all of the airlines. So we're not quite where we need to be size-wise. So, we got to grow. I think we will grow. Mobile is a different city than it was a mere 5 years ago, and I think that our airport will begin to reflect that. And once we get those passenger counts up, then we can get Southwest Airlines.
5 years from now, where do you see the airport system in Mobile?
I think that you will see a tremendous amount of point-to-point service, meaning more cities where you can fly nonstop. Not only hubs, but some major markets such as Chicago, New York, areas where we have a lot of need but currently do not have nonstop service. So I think you'll see increased service. But more importantly, I think you'll see larger planes, and I think you'll see more flights. And all of that will help us to become that much more of a user-friendly airport.
All right, Bill Sisson, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.